What's going on, YouTube? How y'all doing today? This is Preacher. So, yeah, I've been missing for a little minute, but I was having some neck issues, stuff like that for my neck surgery. It's getting a little bit difficult, because all the turning, how we got to turn our head to the left and to the right. After about 3.5, 4 hours, it gets real stiff. My neck gets real stiff and the muscles starts to tighten. So I try to book my loads differently based off of that. Like this morning, I'm picking up, I'm actually delivering in Boston, Massachusetts at the airport. I'm at a cargo terminal now, delivering this load. So I try to do something to where that I got to do all my backing, getting out, getting the paper, walking back and forth, do all that delivery stuff first. So that way, after all that process is done, now I'm on the road heading to my other delivery. So that way I got plenty of time to get there and I can rest. It helps after I didn't lay down for a while. Normally, if I can lay down for about an hour or two, give it time to my muscles time to rest, it's all good. So, and this weekend, because it's been Memorial Weekend, it's been a little bit difficult, just a little bit difficult, because like today, I'm at the terminal. I had to talk to 3 different people. One person sending me to the next person, they're sending me to the next person, they're sending me to the next person. I finally got the one that supposed to be getting this in freight. That's the problem when you're doing this freight for these cargo terminals, and they got like 3 different airlines in the same building. They just tell you, okay, building 58. Okay, there's 3 different airlines. Then my paperwork got all 3 airlines on it. So who's getting what? So that's how I was. I'm like, well, who's getting what? Is this UPS? Is this FedEx? It's all on the BOLs. And it's British. And it finally was British Airlines that was on it. But I had to go through the UPS, I had to go through the FedEx, then I had to go through American Airlines, and then they told me it was British. And I had all of them on the paperwork. Shipped to, and then they got all of them. So it's like, okay, who is getting this? Who exactly is getting this? So it took me about 25, 30 minutes to check in, because the paperwork had all of them, but all of them is out of this in one building. So you don't know. You just going, nah, this ain't ours. Nah, this ain't ours. Go over here. Nah, this ain't ours. And you go over here. Oh yeah, this is ours. I'm like, and then at these terminals, man, these docks, it's really made for like day cab. It's not really made for condo trucks and stuff like that. So I've been going through that. Now I have been averaging about 6,500 a week. It's been hard, man. It's hard. It's hard. You got to do your homework on where to go. You really got to do your homework on where exactly to go, so you can get decent loads. You just can't look at the load board and like I got 5 different load boards that I look at, and then I talk to the same brokers pretty much for the loads that are not even posted on the load board. Like this load I got right here, it took me from Chicago to Boston, and I got that for 2,500. It's a total. My total miles was 1,040 miles. But this load was not on the load board. It's just talking with the regular brokers that I talk to on a regular basis, seeing what they got, what they need. Somebody actually dropped off this load. So because they dropped off this load, that's why this load wasn't on the load board. So by the time I called him, he was like, well, I got this load. I know you really don't like to go on the East Coast line. I said, yeah, I don't like to go on the East Coast line, but I go. but I don't like going on the East Coast line. It's the tolls. You can driving these tolls, man. You can have like $250 in tolls for the week if you're just doing all the East Coast, doing your Pennsylvania, your New Jerseys, your New Yorks, your Connecticut, your Massachusetts, your Maines. You know, you can have about $250 to $300 in toll fees, man. So you got to make sure if you're gonna do that, you got to get a good rate. Like I know coming here, I pick up in Maine, Poland, Maine, which is 100. My next pickup is 135 miles away from where I'm at. So you got to make sure it's enough money built up to cover your cost of tolls. So you always got to make sure you do this, and that's what be like. Nah, I know I'm gonna have like $150 dollars in tolls, right? Do it for this in trip, so I make sure I get enough money to cover my cost of my tolls that I have to have, and I try to stay away, but you still got to follow the money. That's the thing. You still got to follow the money. I'm coming back to Florida. I have a doctor's appointment on Thursday. So this load I pick up tomorrow, it's gonna take me back down to Florida where I need to be at. And of course, going into Florida, you get good rates. Coming out, that's just the other thing.
Say a command.
Oh, sorry. So, but I got this load that picks up on Friday that comes out of Florida that takes me up to Indiana, and it's paying like $1.86 a mile. So I'm gonna hop on that load to get me back up north again, around the Indiana, Ohio area. So you just got to do your homework. You really got to do your homework, and you got to keep scanning that load board, scanning all your load boards, and you just got to keep talking. Now, when you start dealing with the same brokers all the time, they know what your rate is, you know, so they're not gonna come out with a super low number that's just crazy to you. I know for y'all, 6,500 is no money. I know 65 to y'all is no money. I get that, but like I have told y'all before, you know, my total deductions, including my trailer and my truck and my maintenance-free account on both, where I don't have to pay for nothing but tires, it's just $1,536 a week. That's it. Now they take 18% of the 6,500, and the leftover, now you deduct the 1,536. So now when you look at something like that, the rest of the stuff is on you. How much you fueling, well, how fast you driving, where you fueling at. Some of y'all still like to fuel up at the Pilot, Flying J, Love's, Petro, and TA. No, I go with the smaller people because it's a lot cheaper. Okay, you saving almost 70 cents per gallon just going to a smaller fuel station. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, you know. Some of y'all, you know, you get with these Chicago companies and you don't get fuel discounts. You got to get your own fuel discounts. So see how much you're paying in fuel. When you start seeing that you saving about $500 to $600 a week in fuel, think about that. That's almost $2,000 to $2,200 a month that you save in fuel just by going out getting your own fuel cards. A lot of times, you know, honestly, we don't do that, right? We don't have no money to put down for no truck, so we go to these places where it's zero down. And when you put zero down, you pay the highest cost. You pay the highest cost, man. That's just what it is, you know? I mean, so by the end of the week, out of 65, I'm getting about 2,000 out of 65. You know, some of y'all, they ain't enough. I know. That's not enough for y'all. You might as well be a company driver. I know. That's what you're saying, but it is what it is. Company drivers, you gonna be sitting. I mean, You got to get with the right company. There's only a handful of companies that really paying some of these drivers, and these drivers will tell you, hey, I'm making $1,800 a week, I'm making $2,000 a week, and I don't have no expenses and all this other kind of good stuff. Yeah, but everybody can't work at those companies. Those companies have certain hiring areas. You may stay on one side of the United States, but they only hire on the other side of the United States. So you're not afforded that opportunity to go to those particular places. You're not afforded that opportunity to go to those particular places because they out of your hiring area. So you have to get something within your hiring area. And then in your hiring area, if you only getting this amount of money, well, you got to pick the best place in your hiring particular area. Everybody don't hire over the 48 continuous United States. They don't. So yeah, you may have some companies in some areas that's paying the local drivers and the regional drivers real good, but you can't work there because you stay so far away. I said this on previous videos before. I'm like, listen, man, every company don't hire everybody everywhere. You see these YouTube videos where I'm making this a week, and you thinking you could just get that just going somewhere else, and you can't. You just can't get that. So it all depends on, that's why if you do the OTR and you go out and get your own truck, you can run whatever area that you want to run, and then you still can go home when you want to go home. You got to make sacrifices. So what type of sacrifices? I mean, I had a couple good weeks when I made like 72, 74 stuff, but consistently my average for the month is $6,500 a week. That is my average. It's $6,500 a week. I know with $6,500, I have enough to do everything that I need to do. I already told y'all how I started increasing my payments on this truck. It was 3.5 years on it, and I'm at a year and a half now. So I start increasing the payments, try to get this truck paid off. I get this truck paid off, right? Because with the trailer and the truck, now I don't own the trailer. It's just the maintenance, including the trailer and the rental of the trailer. It's all included inside the $1,300 a week. So that's your trailer rental, all your maintenance and repairs on your trailer, that's on their dime, and it's my truck payment with all the maintenance and any repairs on the truck. All that is $1,300, and the other $236 is all your other deductibles that comes with it. And like I said, they take 18%. So I'm trying to hurry up, because I pay this off. Well, even if I still do the $300 every single week for maintenance, because I'll be responsible for the maintenance at that time, that's saving $1,200. But even at that time that the truck is paid off, I know that this truck is in tip-top shape, because I had this truck since it had like 101,000 miles on it, and I take care of it. It still look like it's brand new. Any problems, I always check for leaks. I always look at this truck, fairly look at this truck, because when they have to pay for everything, I'm going to try to find everything. That's just what it is. I noticed that I've been filling up my coolant a little bit more than normal. Now it has been hot, but I noticed that, okay, I'm putting about 2 cups of coolant in it like every 2 days. So I know I have a leak somewhere, but I can't find the leak just yet. So I started searching, right? Doing my 34 hours over the weekend, I'm searching, and I'm just looking at everything. I'm following all the hoses, all the coolant hoses, the coolant lines. Then I noticed on my injector, cylinder one, on the fuel rail, I see that it's a little leak there, right? So I'm like, okay, I know when I go to the shop, I ain't gonna go to the shop this week, I go to the shop next week, I have them check out that little leak. And then, so I'm just still looking at the coolant hoses, right? Because your coolant hoses go down to your heat core, right? So then I'm looking there and I'm looking down, and I'm just following that line to see if there's any leaks anywhere. Then I notice on my oil pan, around the sides of it and stuff, I noticed I got a little oil leak right there too. So I'm like, okay, maybe I need a new oil pan gasket. right? So I'm like, okay, I put that on my list as well. So I'm just still trying to find the coolant lines and stuff. I already had my heat core replaced because that coolant line at the fitting had broke and it started doing it. So I had that replaced about a month ago. So I'm just checking that out to see if it was faulty or something. And I can't find this coolant line. So the next, today, after I get to where I'm going, because like I said, I only got 135 miles. Whenever they start unloading me, I go ahead and go to this place. When I get to this place, I'm gonna go on the driver's side and follow that coolant line that comes all the way back behind the driver's seat and stuff. So I'm gonna follow that coolant line. So it's like, hey, you start at the source and you just continue to check until you find a problem. I know that there's a problem, but the leak is not noticeable. Even when you look at the ground, when I'm looking at the ground, you can't see any drips or anything like that. But it could be that it's leaking a little bit and it hitting something hot. So that way when it hits something hot, it's not enough liquid still gonna come down. It like evaporates when it's hitting something hot. Because I started to smell the coolant heating up, but I still can't find the leak nowhere. Now I got to remember I had replaced, I had got my radiator replaced from the TA months ago, probably like about 4 or 5 months ago, something like that. And I had a video about that. So then I had my coolant reservoir replaced like a month ago for my coolant reservoir. Had that place, so that's brand new too. So I didn't have some coolant stuff that goes on, but again, that's why I look at everything and I just try just to find everything. So those other 2 leaks, I'm gonna get that addressed in about another week or so ahead of time. Like I say, I don't pay for maintenance. Now what I do pay for is these deductibles, whether this truck run or not. So it may be in the shop a day, it may be in the shop 2 days while they do that. So that's 2 days of lost revenue, which I average about $1,000, anywhere between $1,000 to $1,250. I got lucky sometimes and had a couple of 15s in there. You know, for my 65, averaging my 65. A lot of times I do about 68, things like that. Now y'all know I have, before I didn't show receipts. So I'm just not sitting here saying this stuff. I have showed my receipts and things that I am making. So you know, I just try to keep it real. I tell people all the time, okay, no, I don't have a trucking channel. It's just a vlog of my life and the things that I'm going to. I'm going to start adding a little bit more stuff. Other things that I'm going to be doing outside of trucking. I've been looking at investing in certain things I'm going to be investing on. So I'm dealing with a couple people. I got a couple mentors I've been talking to. I got a couple coaches I've been talking to. So we can make this thing happen. So that's what's been going on with me. I hope everything's all right with y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.